Hello everyone. Welcome to the new session of Animal Kingdom. So in this session, we are going to cover up the rest of our phylum. Okay, till arthropoda we have completed, right? And after that, the next phylum comes the mollusca. Okay, shell bearing organism, they are also called as shell bearing or organism, and this is the second largest animal phylum that comes after arthropoda. Arthropoda. So this is the second largest phylum, Mollusca. And here are the two very common examples from this particular phylum, that is the pila and octopus. Okay, these are the two examples, right? Mollusks are the terrestrial or aquatic. So they can be a terrestrial form also, they can be in the aquatic form also. And in the aquatic, we are having the two forms, that is the marine and freshwater. So some of the molluscans are found in the marine environment and some are found in the freshwater environment, and they are having the organ system level of organization. So again, they are having the organ system of level of organization. This we have seen in the case of annelida and also in the arthropoda, right? So they are bilaterally symmetrical, their body can be divided into two equal halves from the one symmetry. Okay, and they are triploblastic. Again, they are having the ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm layer. So that is why they are called as triploblastic. Coelomate animal, they are called as coelomate animal. Why they are called as coelomate animals? True body cavity, due to the presence of true body cavity. So these are some of the very advanced features in the phylum. Okay, bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, and the coelomate cavity means that true coelom body cavity is the true type. So these are some of the very advanced feature which we see in the case of this molluscans. Body is covered by the calcareous shell and it is unsegmented with the distinct head, muscular foot and the visceral hump. So very important feature, that is the presence of calcareous shell. So you can see the calcareous shell like this. Okay, the calcareous shell is like this, and organism is present like this. So they are having the distinct head region, muscular foot and visceral hump. So this is the head, this is the foot region, and this visceral hump region that resides in this calcareous shell. This is the calcareous shell. Calcareous shell. Okay, and this is the hump region. The soft and spongy layer of skin forms the mantle over the visceral hump. So over the visceral, they are having the mantle cavity, right? So these are some of the very important features of the mollusca, that is they are terrestrial or aquatic. In the aquatic form, they are found in found in the marine environment, whereas some are found in the freshwater. So octopus, that is found in the marine environment, and they are having the organ system level of organization. We can see the different organ system. They are having the respiratory system, they are having the digestive system, they are having the excretory system, they are having the circulatory system. So they are having this different organ system level of organization. So they are bilaterally symmetrical. Okay, body can be divided into two equal halves, so they shows the bilaterally symmetrical. Triploblastic, body, embryo, at the time of division they form the three germinal layer, that is the ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm, and they are having the true body cavity, that is called coelomate animal, and that is why they are called as coelomate animal. Very important, they are having the calcareous shell. Their body is having covered with the shell that is called as calcareous shell, made up of calcium carbonate and unsegmented with the distinct. Their body is unsegmented, but you can divide the body into three regions. That is the head region. Here you can see this head region, muscular foot. Muscular foot. So this region is called as muscular foot. This is foot. And visceral hump. Over this particular part, this is the visceral hump, right? So this hump region is generally covered with the calcareous shell. The space between the hump and the mental is called the mental cavity. So there is a hump region, and over this there is a mental. So this is the mental, and this is the hump. Now in between this mental and hump, this forms the cavity. This cavity is called as mental cavity, in which the feather like gills are present. Okay, feather like gills are present. That is the respiratory organ of molluscan. They have respiratory and excretory function. So this gills, they are performing the dual function, respiratory as well as the excretory. Anterior head region has the sensory tentacles. So if you see the head region, they are having the tentacles. Okay, so they are having this shell region like this. These are the sensory tentacles. The mouth contains file-like rasping organ for feeding called radula. This is again very, very important feature of this phylum. Okay, the body is having this rasping organ. Mouth, not the body. Mouth is containing the file-like rasping organ for feeding. It is help in the feeding process, and that rasping like organ is got a name that is called as radula. So do remember this name, radula. Only you can see this in this particular phylum. They are usually dioecious and oviparous. Dioecious means the male and female individuals are separate, and oviparous with indirect development. Indirect development means you can see the different larval stages, So that is why they are showing the indirect development. Now, some of the examples are given here. Pila, that is commonly known as apple snail. Pink tada, pearl oyster. Sepia, that is called as cuttlefish. Loligo, squid. Octopus, that is also known as devilfish, but this is not a fish that we see in the case of species. Okay. Aplysia, sea hare. Dentalium, tusk shell. And Ketopleura, that is chiton. So these are some of the very, very famous examples of the molluscans. Okay. Now they are dioecious, oviparous in direct development. This is very important feature. Okay. So, okay. Here is the next phylum that is called as echinodermata. Echinodermata. So these animals have the endoskeleton of the calcareous oscles, and hence the name echinodermata, spiny bodied. Okay, now these are having the endoskeleton. First time this endoskeleton is coming. The word endoskeleton is coming, and that is made up of the calcareous ossicles, and hence the name echinodermata. That is the spiny body. Their body is covered with the very fine spicules like things, right? So here are the two examples, Asterias and Ophiura. Okay, starfish. So all are marine with the organ system level of organization. So all are marine. This is very, very important feature. Sometimes they can be asked in the multiple statement questions, right? Organ system level of organization. Means they are having different organ system working together. Organ different working together to form a one particular system. So they are having the separate respiratory system, separate digestive system, okay, water vascular system. This is again one of the very unique feature of this phylum, water vascular system. The adult echinoderms are radially symmetrical, but larvae are bilaterally symmetrical. Okay. If we see the adult echinodermata, okay, they are radially symmetrical. But when you see the larval stage of the echinoderms, they are bilaterally symmetrical. This is also a very unique point. They are triploblastic and coelomate. Again, if you see the developing embryo, then you can see the three germinal layer, ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. And coelomate animal, why they are called as coelomate? Because they are having the true body cavity. Digestive system is complete with mouth on the lower ventral side and anus on the upper dorsal side. Okay, the position of the mouth is very, very unique position. The mouth is downward, right? That is on the ventral surface, and on the dorsal surface they are having anus. But it is complete. The digestive system is complete because it is having the two openings, right? So if we summarize, all are marine organ system level of organization. So they are having the different organ that is united together to perform a one particular function. So they are showing the organ system level of organization. A very unique organ, this system of organization. If we talk about, then they are having this water vascular system. Okay. Uh, the adult echinoderms are radially symmetrical. So if we talk about the adult form of the echinoderm, then they are showing the radial symmetry. And if we talk about the larva, then they are having the bilateral symmetry. Triploblastic. They are triploblastic. Triploblastic means when they are in the developmental stages, okay, the embryo shows the three germinal layer, that is the ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. And coelomate animals, that is the true body cavity that is found in the echinodermata. Digestive system is complete, that is having the two opening, one is mouth and another is the anus. Mouth is present on the lower surface, that is as the ventral surface, and the anus is present at the dorsal surface. The most distinctive features of echinoderms is the presence of water vascular system, which helps in locomotion, capture and transport of food and respiration. So this is one of the very, very important and unique feature of this particular phylum. What is that? Water vascular system. If you see the star fish like this, okay, now here they are inside this, they are having a channel like this. Okay, now this channel, if I draw outside, it is like this. Okay, and below it they are having some balloon like structure like this. So this get filled with water, this get filled with water. When the water get entered inside the body, it all these channels get filled with water. This is called as a water vascular system, filled with water. And this pouches, balloon like structures, that also get filled with water. So its arm spread like this, in this form, and when it remove water, it forms, it arms becomes like this. Again it take water, it moves like this. So in this way, when it take water and remove water, it move like this. So this is why it is helping in the locomotion. And along with the water that get entered inside the body, some food material also get entered. Okay, that is taken by the digestive tract. Capture the food material right? And transport of food and respiration. So water is entering inside the body. So whatever the dissolved oxygen is there, that is taken by the echinoderms, right? So this is very, very important. You can see this water vascular system, how it is helpful to these echinoderms. They are helping in the locomotion, they are helping in the capture of food, they are helping in the respiration as well. Excretory system is absent. No excretory system is found in the case of, means there is no opening. When the water is removing out from the body, the nitrogenous waste is also goes out. Sexes are separate. So they are having the male and female individual in the separate form, and reproduction is by the sexual means. Reproduction is by the sexual means. So do remember this. This is a very, very unique feature, that is the water vascular system. Okay. Now, till the phylum, whatever the phylum we have studied here, we see that every phylum is having one or two unique feature. So that you remember, that can be asked in the examination, right? And in this phylum, this water vascular system is very, very important. Fertilization is usually external. So separate sexes are there, and generally the reproduction is done by the sexual method only, and the fertilization is external, means they lay out egg and the sperm is released and the fertilization takes place. Okay. And the development is indirect, that is the free swimming larva. Development is indirect, that is by the formation of the larva. Okay. So radial symmetry in the case of adult echinoderms, bilateral symmetry in the case of larval stages. Now, if we talk about the examples, then we are having the different examples here. Asterias, that is commonly known as starfish. Echinus, sea urchin. Antedon, that is called as sea lily. Cucumeria, that is also known as sea cucumber. And Ophura, brittle star. Okay, so these are some of the very, very important examples of this phylum. The next phylum is the Hemichordata. Hemichordata. Hemichordata was earlier considered as a subphylum under the phylum Chordata. Earlier, it is having another position, that is, it is kept as a subphylum under the phylum Chordata. But now it is kept in the invertebrates along with the other echinoderms, but now it is placed as a separate phylum under the non-chordata. They are non-chordates. Hemichordates have rudimentary structure in the collar region, and that is called as stomachod. Stomachod. Hemichordata have the rudimentary structure in the collar region, that is called as stomochord. And this structure is similar to the notochord. It is similar, it is not the notochord. So instead of notochord, they are having the stomochord, rudimentary structure in, and that is present in just in their collar region, not in the whole of the body. Right. So this phylum consists of small group of worm-like marine animals with organ system level of organization. Okay. Now different organs are there to form the organ system level of organization, and worm-like marines organisms are found in this particular phylum. So do remember these points, that earlier it were in the kept as a subphylum of the chordata, but now it is kept along in the non-chordates or invertebrates, right? So it is kept in the phylum, separate phylum as a non-chordates, and hemichordates have the rudimentary structure, that is the stomochord. So they are not having the true notochord, they are instead they are having the stomochord, and that too present in the collar region only. So this phylum is having the organ system level of organization, and the organism which are found in this phylum are generally worm-like and mostly marine. So here you can see the hemichordata. They are bilaterally symmetrical. If you talk about the symmetry, then you can divide this balanoglossus. This is the example. Okay, balanoglossus, this is the example. And here you can see this is the proboscis region, this is the collar region, and this is the trunk region. Okay, the body is bilaterally symmetrical. If you divide the body in from this plane, okay, then it can divide it into two equal halves. Triploblastic and coelomate animal, they are also having the true body cavity. So coelomate animals, the body is cylindrical and is composed of an anterior proboscis, collar, and long trunk. So here you can see the three parts: anterior proboscis, collar, and trunk region. Circulatory system is open type. Okay, open type of circulatory system means that blood is not flowing in any vessels. Respiratory takes place through the gills. So they are having the gills for the process of respiration. Excretory organ is proboscis gland. So proboscis gland, that is working as an excretory organ. Okay, and sexes are separate. So they are having the two individual, male and females. So they are having the different sexes. Okay. So circulatory system is open type, respiration takes place through the gills, and excretory organ is proboscis gland, and sexes are separate. Moving to the next slide, fertilization is external. So they release out egg and sperm in the outer environment, and fertilization takes place. Development is indirect. So they are having the larval stages. Larval stages. An example is balanoglossus and saccoglossus. These are the two examples of this particular phylum. Now comes the phylum Chordata. So animal belonging to the phylum Chordata are fundamentally characterized by the presence of notochord. Very, very important. So here you can see this is the notochord. This yellow region which I am coloring here, this is the notochord. Okay, presence of notochord, a dorsal hollow nerve cord. So here you can see the nerve cord, dorsal hollow nerve cord. And a pair pharyngeal gill slits. So these are the gill slits, pair pharyngeal gill slits. This is the very, very important feature of the phylum Chordata. Okay, animal belongs to the phylum Chordata having the fundamental characteristic, that is the presence of notochord, dorsal hollow nerve cord, paired pharyngeal gill slit. These three things should be there in the case of Chordata. Okay, so these are the very you can say the fundamental features of the chordata. Now these are bilaterally symmetrical. If you divide the organism in one plane of symmetry, it can divide the body into two equal halves. So that is why they are called as bilaterally symmetrical. Triploblastic, again this triploblastic feature is you can say the one of the very advanced feature. Okay, so triploblastic, the embryo is having the three germinal layer at the time of development, and they form the ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. Later, they form the different organs. Okay, coelomate, two body cavity with the organ system level of organization. Right, they possesses the post anal tail and the closed circulatory system. Closed type of circulatory system. Blood is not flowing in the cavity. Blood is having the separate vessels through which they can flow to whole body organism, and they are having the post anal tail. Right, so here we can have some differences. Till here we have studied about the chordata and non-chordata, and just now we have studied about the chordata. So there are having some unique differences in between. So let us highlight that. Table present the comparison of the silent features of the chordates and non-chordate. So if we talk about the chordates here, then they are having the notochord present. And in the case of non-chordates, notochord is absent. And on the basis of this only, the hemichordata has been transferred from the chordates to the non-chordates, because they are having the stomochord, not the notochord, right? Okay. So notochord is absent in the case of non-chordate, whereas in the case of chordates, they are present. Central nervous system is dorsal, hollow and single. Central nervous system is ventral in position. See the difference. In chordates, it is dorsal in position. In the case of non-chordate, it is ventral in position, solid and double. And here it is single. Pharynx perforated by gill slits. Very, very important. In case of chordates, gill slits are absent. Heart is ventral in position. Heart is dorsal if present. So we have seen presence of heart in the case of annelidans. So they are having dorsal in position. Post anal tail is present. Post anal tail is absent. So these are some of the unique differences between the chordates and non-chordates. Phylum chordata can be divided into three subphylum: Urochordata or the tunicata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. So these are the three subphylum of the chordata. So we have started the chordata right now, right? Now let us see their different subphylum. So the first one is Urochordata. Okay. Subphylum Urochordata and Cephalochordata are often referred to as the protochordata. So generally we refer this two subphylum, that is called as Urochordata and Cephalochordata, as a protochordates, and they are exclusively marine. Exclusively marine means they are found in the marine environment. In Urochordata, the notochord is present only in the larval tail. Okay, this is again a very unique feature. Urochordata, in case of Urochordata, the notochord is present only in the larval tail region, not in the organism, that adult organism. It is found in the larval tail region. While in Cephalochordata, it extends from head to tail region and it is persistent throughout their life. Okay, now if you talk about the cephalochordata, then it is extend from head to tail region. It is present from the head to tail region in the case of cephalochordata, and it is not only present in their larval stages, whereas it is persistent throughout the life, means it is present in the adult stage as well. Example, if we talk about the example, then Urochordata, Accidia, Salpa, Dolium. And if we talk about the Cephalochordata, then Branchiostoma, that is the Amphioxus or the lancelet, is an example. The members of the subphylum Vertebrata possesses the notochord during the embryonic period. Now, if we talk about the vertebrata, okay, vertebrata is very unique, very advanced one. So they are having the notochord during their embryonic period. The notochord is replaced by the cartilaginous or bony vertebral column in the adult. So this notochord is only found in the embryonic period. It is not found in the adult stages, whereas it is replaced by the cartilaginous or bony vertebral column in the adult. Thus, all vertebrates are chordates, but all chordates are not vertebrates. Okay, we can say that all vertebrates are included into the chordates, but all chordates means Urochordata and Cephalochordata, they are not having this feature, so they cannot be kept in the vertebrata. So vertebrata is very, very different. Beside the basic chordate characters, vertebrata have a ventral muscular heart with 2 or 3 or 4 chambers. So the heart is having the different chambers. In some of the organism, we can see that they are having just 2 chambers. In some, they are having 3 chambers, but in some other, they are having the 4-chamber heart. kidneys for excretion and osmoregulation, and the pair appendages with maybe fins or limbs. So they are having the kidney that helps in the excretion and osmoregulation process, and they are having the paired appendages which may be fins or limbs. So here we can see the division of the vertebrata. Okay, the vertebrata can be divided into agnatha and gnathostomata. Now this division is done on the basis of jaws. On the basis of jaws. So jaws is used as a dividing feature in the case of vertebrata. So vertebrata can be divided in the presence or absence of the jaws. So agnatha, they do not bear any jaws. They lack jaw. And here we are having one class that is called as cyclostomata. Okay, cyclostomata. And here we are having one you can say the division here, that is the gnathostomata. Okay, now this is the organism that bears the jaw. Now this can be divided into two super classes, species and tetrapoda. These are the two super classes, species and tetrapoda. Now if you talk about the species means that they bear fins. Okay, as you see in the case of fishes. Now this species are having the two classes, chondrichthyes and osteichthyes. Chondrichthyes means they are having the cartilaginous bone. Osteichthyes, bony fishes. Tetrapoda, they bear the limbs. Class, amphibia, reptilia, aves and mammal. These are the organisms, different classes, okay, that they bear the limbs. So let us talk about the cyclostomata. If we are talk about the chordata, then the first class, that is the cyclostomata. All living members of the class cyclostomata are ectoparasite on some fishes. So they are ectoparasite. Cyclostomata are working as an ectoparasite, and they have an elongated body bearing 6 to 15 pairs of gill slits for the respiration. So they are having the body. Okay, the body is like this, and they are having the gill slits, 15 to 16 gill slits, and that is for the respiration. Okay, so here you can see these are the gill slits. And cyclostomes have the sucking and the circular mouth without jaws. So they are having the sucking and circular mouth, means they are attached to the bony fishes as a suckers. Okay, and they are having mouth without any jaws. So the best example is the Petramyzon. Their body is devoid of scales and paired fins. So no scales are present on their body surface. Okay, and they are not having any paired fins. Cranium and vertebral column are cartilaginous. So if you talk about the internal bone of this fish, then cranium, okay, they are having the cranium, head region is having the cranium, and vertebral column are cartilaginous. Circulation is of closed type. They are having the closed type of circulation, means the blood is flowing in, you can say, the vessels. So the circulation is the closed type. Cyclostomes are marine but migrate for the spawning to fresh water. So cyclostomes are marine but migrate from spawning, means they are migrating from marine environment to the cold environment. So this is showing the migration. This type of fish is showing the migration. So these are the some of the unique feature of this phylum. Okay, cyclostomes are marine but migrate for spawning, means laying the egg. Okay, so they go for spawning in the fresh water, but generally they live in the marine environment, marine water. After spawning, within a few days, they die because they cannot tolerate the freshwater environment, because they are adapted to live inside the marine environment. So after spawning, okay, within few days they dies. Their larvae after metamorphosis return to the ocean. Okay, their larvae after metamorphosis means they get changes from the larval stages, they becomes the adult and they return to the ocean, that is marine environment. This is very unique feature. Adult is going from, this is the marine environment, and this is the fresh environment, freshwater environment. So we can see the sea is here and the river is coming and it is joining to the sea, right? So what happened? This from marine environment, the cyclostomes moves to here. They lay eggs here, spawning, and after the spawning, the larva comes out. Okay. Now, these do not comes back, they die there. Okay, they die in this fresh water. And from this fresh water, this the adult, when these larvae becomes the adult, they comes to this sea. After spawning within few days, they die. These larvae, after metamorphosis, okay, they return to the ocean or the sea. The best examples of the cyclostomes are the Petramyzon, that is commonly called as the lamprey, and Myxine, that is called hagfish. Now, let us talk about the phylum chordata. In the first, here the first class is the chondrichthyes. They are the marine animals with a streamlined body and have the cartilaginous endoskeleton. So the body is a streamlined. Very important feature of these cyclostomes. In fact, every fishes, generally the fishes are having the this streamlined body. Why so? Because they have to cut the water current. Streamlined body help to cut the water current. Okay, and they are having the cartilaginous endoskeleton. So their inside, their endoskeleton is made up of the cartilaginous, not the bone, and that is why famously this is known as cartilaginous fish. Cartilaginous cartilaginous fishes. Okay. Mouth is located ventrally. If you see the where the mouth is present, mouth is located slight ventral in position. Notochord is persistent throughout the life. So this notochord is present in lifelong, throughout the life. And gill slits are separate and without any operculums. No covering to the gill slits. The gill slit is separate and it is open. The skin is tough and containing minute placoid scales. So they are having the placoid scale. Again, very important feature of this chondrichthyes. But their skin is tough. Teeth are modified placoid scales with are backwardly directed. Now their teeth is modification of this placoid scales only. Okay, and they are moving backwardly directed. Their jaws are very powerful. These animals are predaceous, so they are predators. They kill other animals. Due to the absence of air bladder, they have to swim constantly to avoid the sinking. There is no air bladder. They found that they can help in the flotation. No, they do not have that. So they have to avoid this sinking. To avoid that sinking, they have to continuously swim in water. Heart is two chambered. Okay, one auricle and one ventricle. Two chambered heart. Some of them are the electric organ. If, for example, torpedo, they release some electric discharge in the water, and that is to capture their food material or to avoid any danger. Okay, so whenever they comes in the contact with any danger, someone wants to trap them, so they release that electric discharge in the water. So that is why they are called as electric organs, torpedo. And some possesses poison sting, that is trigon. They are cold-blooded, poikilotherms animals, that is, they lack the capacity to regulate the body temperature. What will be the outer environment, water temperature, their body temperature will be that only. So they cannot regulate the body temperature. Sexes are separate in the case of chondrichthyes. In males, pelvic fins bears claspers. So this is very, very important. In case of males, okay, they help in the process of copulation. Okay, so they bear the claspers. They have internal fertilization, and many of them are viviparous. Very, very important. This chondrichthyes, they are having the internal fertilization, because this claspers is there to release that sperms inside their respiratory tract, female respiratory tract. Okay, through this claspers, and that is why the fertilization is internal. And many of them are showing the viviparous phenomena also. Now, if we talk about the examples, then scoliodon, that is known as dogfish, Pristis, sawfish, and Carcharodon, that is the great white shark, and Trigon, stingray. So these are some of the very famous examples of the chondrichthyes. Now comes the osteichthyes. It includes both marine and freshwater fishes with bony endoskeleton. So they are having the endoskeleton, that is bony in nature. In the case of chondrichthyes, they are having the cartilaginous type of endoskeleton. But here it includes both the type of fishes, that is lives in the marine environment as well as the fresh environment. But they are having the bony endoskeleton. Their body is streamlined. Again, they can cut the water current, though. That is why they are having the streamlined body. Mouth is mostly terminal, right? So in the case of chondrichthyes, you have seen that they are having ventral in position, but this is having the terminal position. They have 4 pairs of gills which are covered by an operculum on each side. So gills is covered, and that covering is called as operculum. Both the side, left and right, both the side, they are having this operculum, and inside the operculum they are having the gills region. So skin is covered with the cycloid and ctenoid of scales. In chondrichthyes, they are having the placoid scales, but here the skin is covered with the cycloid or ctenoid type of scales. Air bladder is present with regulate their buoyancy. So every time they do not have to swim, as we have seen in the case of chondrichthyes. Heart is two chambered. Again, they are also having the two chambered heart as the chondrichthyes, the one auricle and one ventricle. They are cold blooded animals. Means they cannot regulate the body temperature. Sexes are separate. So both the male and female, they are present as a separate individual. Fertilization is usually external, very, very different from the chondrichthyes. There the fertilization is internal. They are viviparous. Okay, they are mostly oviparous, and development is direct. Oviparous means they lay eggs out, outside the body, and that is why the fertilization is external, and the male individual release the sperms over it, and the fertilization takes place. That is the oviparous. Development is direct, that is, no larval stages are found. If we talk about some of the marine fishes, then exocetus, that is flying fish, hippocampus, that is seahorse, freshwater. These are the two marine fishes. Now, if we talk about the freshwater fishes, then labio, commonly known as rohu, katla, that is known as katla, and clarius, that is known as magur, aquarium, betta, fighting fish, and pterophyllum, that is also known as anglefish. So here you have understood how many types of fishes we are having, right? They are having very different features, though they are included in the species, but they are very much different with this chondrichthyes and osteichthyes. Okay. Next phylum is the amphibia. Very, very important. Amphibia. As the name indicate, amphi means dual life. They are playing the dual life. Amphibians can live in aquatic as well as the terrestrial habitat. So they are adapted to live in both the environment. They can live in the terrestrial environment as well as the aquatic environment. Right? So you must have seen this frog. We have seen in the case of in water also, okay, but they are present on the land also, so they are present on both these environment. Another example here we can see the salamander. Most of them have two pairs of limbs, okay, forelimbs and hind limbs. Hind limbs is there to uh, in most of them to jump, like in the case of frog, and the forelimb is quite shorter and it is adapted for the holding. Body is divisible into head and trunk. If you see the frog, then you can see the body is having this head region, and after this head it is having the trunk region. Okay, so this is the trunk and this is the head region. The tail may be present in some organism the tail is present, whereas in some organism the tail is absent, as we see in the case of salamander. They are having the tail, right? But in the case of frog, the tail is present in the larval stages, that is in the tadpole, but when it becomes an adult, the tail is no more. The amphibian skin is always moist and they are not having any scales. As we have seen in the case of fishes, they are having different types of scales like osteichthyes, they are having the placoid scales, whereas chondrichthyes, they are having the ctenoid scales. But the scales are not found in the case of amphibians, though they can live in the water as well, right? But they are not having any type of scales present on their skin. Now, the eyes are having the eyelids. Okay, the eyes that get covered with the eyelid. It can get covered also. So that shows they are having the eyelids. Tympanum represent the ear. First time this is having the tympanum. Means the membrane, tympanic membrane. Okay, but that is, there is just an opening. Okay, that shows the ear. There is no external ear as we see in the case of humans. So this is the external ear, this ear. This is the external ear. And that is the opening. Okay. Inside the opening, we are having the tympanic membrane. So this frog is also having that membrane, but they are not having any external ear. Alimentary canal, urinary, and the reproductive tract open into a common chamber called cloaca. Now, this is unique feature of this particular phylum. Cloaca means, see, alimentary canal. So whatever the waste material is coming out of from the body, that is coming from the alimentary canal only. Urinary waste, nitrogenous waste material, that is also removed from this urinary tract. Now, reproductive tract, if the male is releasing the sperm, it is releasing from that. And if the female is releasing this egg, it is taking out the egg from that region only. So this is a very common chamber that is called as cloaca, and which open to the exterior. Okay. So this feature we have seen in this phylum only, not in any other phylum. Respiration takes place by gills, lungs, and through the skin. Very, very important. When the frog is in the larval stage, it respires with the help of gills. Okay. But when it changes to adult, the gills disappear and they are having the well-developed lungs. So it respires through the lungs. But generally, the frogs become very inactive at the time of winter and summer. So they go for the sleep. So they dug the ditches, and there they get enter inside and they take the sleep. So at that time, they minimize their metabolic activities. They are not respiring with the help of lungs. The skin is doing the respiratory system. Okay, the gaseous exchange is taking through this skin only. The heart is three chambered. So first time you can see the three chambered heart came here. Otherwise, before this phylum, that is up to the Osteichthyes or Chondrichthyes, they are having the two chambered heart, one auricle and one ventricle. But here we are having two auricles and one ventricle, three chambered heart. Now, these are cold-blooded animals. They cannot regulate the body temperature. Their body temperature become that only what is the outer environment temperature. Okay. So that is why they go for the summer. They cannot tolerate that heat. They cannot tolerate the extreme cold climate in the case of winter. So they go for the estivation and this winter sleep, hibernation. Sexes are separate. So we are having two individuals, that is the male frog and the female frog. Not only this frog, but other amphibians also. Fertilization is external. So what happened? The egg release, the female release egg in the jelly-like substance in the water, and the male comes and release the sperm over it. So the fertilization takes place, and each egg, they are having the developing tadpole. They are oviparous and development is indirect, which means they are having the larval stage. They are having the larval stage. In the frog case only, in the case of frog, we are having the larval, that is called as tadpole. Okay. Now, if we talk about the examples, then we are having the bufo, that is commonly known as toad, rana, that is known as frog, hyla, this is known as tree frog, salamander, that is known as salamander only, and ichthyophis, that is known as limbless amphibia. Means this particular amphibia look like a snake, but it is amphibia and it is not having any limb. Next phylum is the Reptilia. The class name refers to this creeping or crawling mode of locomotion. Okay, so they are having the creeping and crawling mode of locomotion. They are not having any, you can say some of the individuals are having the limbs, but some of the like snakes, they do not have any limbs. So Latin, but they crawl for their movement or for their locomotion. They are mostly terrestrial animals and their body is covered by dry and cornified skin, that is called as epidermal scale or scutes. So whether you see this chameleon or this crocodile or this turtle or this snake, they all are having their body covered with the epidermal scales, that is called as scutes. They do not have external ear opening. Okay, these are not having any external ear opening, but in the case of amphibians, we have seen the external ear opening. Tympanic represent the ear. Okay, external ear opening is there, but yes, no external ear. Okay, no external ear is we see in the case of reptile as well as in the amphibians. But yes, they are having the tympanic membrane, and that represent the ear. Limbs, when present, they are of two pairs. In some of the organism, like in the case of the this chilon, or that is the turtle you have seen, in the crocodile, chameleon, okay, so they are having the two pairs of limbs. Heart is usually three chambered, four chambered in the crocodile. Okay, this is a very exceptional feature we see in the case of reptiles, that crocodile is having the four chambered heart, that is two auricle and two ventricle. But in the case of other reptiles, they are having the three chambered, two auricle and one ventricle. Reptiles are poikilotherms. Snakes and lizards shed their scales as the skin cast, and sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal. Okay, so snakes and lizards shed their scales and they shed their skin also. Sexes are separate, where they are having the two individual, male and female, and fertilization is internal. They are oviparous, that is, their development is direct. They do not form any larval stages. Inside the egg, the individual develop and comes out uh, in a form that resembles the adult. Okay, there are no larval stages. Now, if we talk about the examples, then chilon, that is turtle, testudo, that is tortoise, chameleon, tree lizard, calotes, garden lizard, crocodilus, crocodile, alligator, alligator. Another examples are hemidactylus, that is the wall lizards, poisonous snake, that is the naza, that is cobra, bangarus, that is rat snake, viper, vipera, viper. Okay, these are some of the individuals examples of the phylum Reptilia. Now, the next phylum is the aves, means birds. The characteristic feature of the aves birds are the presence of feathers, and most of them can fly except some of the flightless birds like ostrich. They are quite big. Okay. Kiwi is another example that do not fly. But all the birds are having feathers at their body surface. Thus, the presence of feathers is one of the very unique feature of the aves. So they possess beak. Whether you see this neophron, that is kite, this is struthio, that is ostrich, that is pistacula, that is parrot, and pavo, that is peacock. So they all bear beak. Their beak can be different, but all the birds bear beak. The forelimbs are modified into wings. Okay, the wings you see in the case of birds, that is the modification of the forelimbs, and the hind limb is generally have the scales and are modified for walking, swimming, and clasping the tree branches. They sit on the tree branches, so they hold, that is they clasp the tree branches. The skin is dry without gland except the oil gland at the base of the tail. So at the tail region, they are having some oil glands, but otherwise their skin do not have any oil secreting glands. Endoskeleton is fully ossified, that is bony, and the long bones are hollow with air cavities. Very important feature of the birds. The long bones are having the hollow cavity, and that is why it is called as pneumatic bone. The bones are pneumatic. The digestive tract of birds are additional chamber, that is crop and gizzard, because they have to grind the food material. So they are having this crop or gizzard. Heart is completely four chambered. Okay, no exception. All the birds are having the four chambered heart. Two ventricle, two auricle. They are warm-blooded, that is homotherms animals. They can regulate the body temperature, constant body temperature. Okay, so they are active in the winter, summer, and monsoon season. Respiration is by lungs. Air sacs are connected to the lung as a supplement respiration because they have to fly. They need extra energy, and for that they need extra oxygen, right? So with the lungs, they are having air sacs connected, and that is helping in the supplement respiration. Sexes are separate. They are having two different male and female birds. Fertilization is internal, and they are oviparous, means they lay eggs. And development is direct, no larval stages. Now, if you talk about some examples, then corvus, that is the crow, is an example. Columba, pigeon. Pistacula, that is parrot. Struthio, ostrich. Pavo, peacock. Append Aptenodytis, that is the penguin, and Neophron, that is the vulture. Okay, the last class, okay, from the phylum chordata, that is the mammalia. So they are found in variety of habitats: polar ice caps, desert, mountain, forest, grassland, and dark caves. Okay, organisms are present at these different habitats. Some are present in the polar ice caps, polar bear, desert, camel, mountains, snow leopard, and forest, elephant, grassland, giraffe, and the dark caves, that is lion. Some of them have adapted to fly or live in water. Some of the organisms of the mammalia, they are adapted to fly like birds, but some live in water as well. Blue whale. The most unique mammalian characteristic is the presence of milk producing glands. So they are having the mammary glands. They can produce milk to feed their young ones, by which the young ones are nourished. Though they have two pairs of limbs adapted for walking, running, climbing, burrowing, swimming, and flying. So here we can see some of the example: Ornithorhynchus, Macropus, uh, Pteropus, and that is Ballinoptera. Okay, blue whale. The skin of the mammal is unique in possessing hair. So they possesses the hair also. This is again a unique feature of the mammals. External ear is pinnae or present. So external ear present in the case of mammals only, not in the aves, not in the reptiles, and not even in the case of amphibians. They are having this tympanic membrane only that represent the ear. But here we are having the external ear as well. Different types of teeth are present in the jaw. Heart is four-chambered. So four-chambered heart we have seen in the case of birds also, and in the case of mammals also, they are having the four-chambered heart. They are homeotherms, though they can maintain the body temperature. They can regulate the body temperature. Respiration is by lungs, so we are having the well-developed lungs for the process of respiration. Sexes are separate and fertilization is internal. They are viviparous, means they give birth to the young ones with few exceptions, and development is direct. So some they are having the development is direct, but there are some few exceptions as well. So if we talk about the examples, then oviparous means they are laying eggs. Ornithorhynchus, platyparous. If we talk about the viviparous, then macropus, that is kangaroo. Pteropus, that is flying fox. Camelus, camel. Macaque, that is monkey. Ratus, rat. Canis, dog. Felis, cat. Elephas, elephants. Equus, horse. Delphinus, that is the common dolphin, and Ballinoptera, blue whale, Panthera tigris, tiger, and Panthera leo, that is the lion. So we can see the some of the silent features distinguishes the all phylum under the animal kingdom. Okay, so let us see that table. So here we can see in the case of Porifera, cellular level of organization, symmetry is various. Coelom is absent. So here we can see the coelom is absent till the phylum Platyhelminthes. Okay. Now, if we talk about the segmentation, so no segmentation is seen in the case till here. Okay, present where? In the case of Annelida, in the case of Arthropoda, right? Again, we are having Mollusca, echinoderms, and hemichordates. These are not having any segmentation. Coelom, till here we are absent. Then comes the Escalmenthes, pseudocoelom, and after then they are all are true coelom till here. Digestive system absent. Incomplete in the case of Cnidaria, incomplete in the case of Ctenophora, incomplete in the case of Platyhelminthes. Why incomplete? Only one opening. Okay. Now from Escalmenthes, now you can see the complete, means they are having the two opening, that is mouth and anus. Circulatory system absent, 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 absent till Escalmenthes. So from Porifera to Escalmenthes, it is absent. Now circulatory system first time came in the Annelida until it is present to the chordata, right? If we talk about the respiratory system, then it is absent till Annelida, no respiratory system. Okay. Now from Arthropoda, first time the respiratory, full-fledged respiratory system appears. So these are some of the features which you can see from this table, and it helps to memorize that also, right? Okay, so thank you very much for this session. We have completed this whole chapter with this particular session. Thank you very much.